SpongeBob SquarePants Mysteries Stage Fright. Chapter 13. It was like old times working with Squidward on a case again. Well, not exactly with him. He'd have to distract Martin Dorado on his own while Sandy and I got what we needed. It felt as though Sandy and I were finally hitting our stride. She was helping me think about this case in ways that had never been occurred to me. And it was great having Squidward on our team. The more friends you have working with you, the better. At least in my book. And my book's the only one I have to go by. So, what it says goes. See? Martin Dorado was still rehearsing the Fair Maiden and the monster number. Angela was back in, though the fake monster was out for now, while Chuck worked on restoring its connections. The director stood just in front of the stage with Emma next to him, writing down his notes. He did not look happy. "Hold!" he shouted over the cast, singing. Everyone froze in place. "It's not working," he said, more to himself than the performers. "It's not the ending I'm looking for. At least not in its current shape." He held his chin in one hand and his elbow in the other, musing. "Should I rewrite it or replace it?" "I'm not sure, sir," Emma said uncertainly. "But maybe this number is a little too—" "Oh, Emma, you're here?" Dorado asked, spinning around. "I thought I was talking to myself." "Yes, sir," Emma apologized. "Sorry, sir." Squidward sidled up to Dorado. "Excuse me, Mr. Dorado, your directorship?" The director glared at his pit orchestra conductor. "Yes, what is it, Tentacles? Shouldn't you be rehearsing the band?" Gulping, Squidward said, "Yes, sir, I am, sir. That is, I will be again, just as soon as I've gotten your expert opinion on the possible addition of an instrument solo, or two." Dorado rolled his eyes. "Oh, all right." He gestured toward the actors on stage. "This is going nowhere anyway." He cupped his hands around his mouth and called to the performers. "Let's take a quick break, everyone." Then he turned back to Squidward. "All right, fire away." "Could we possibly do this in the lobby, sir? It'll be quieter," Squidward suggested. "Fine," Dorado said, mildly exasperated. He headed briskly up the aisle toward the lobby with Squidward and Emma hurrying to keep up. He pushed through the swinging doors. They swung back and smacked Squidward in the nose. Whap! Once the testy director was out of the house, Sandy went to work. "I'll round up the rotten sample," she told SpongeBob. "You fetch that anonymous note I found. We'll meet up just outside the stage door yonder." "Okay," SpongeBob said, looking around. "Where's the notes?" She pointed toward Dorado's desk covered in notes. "Probably on his desk. Just mosey on over there and take a gander." "Right," SpongeBob said, heading toward the desk. "Excuse me, folks," Sandy said to the dispersing cast members. "I know y'all are on your break, but could you do me a quick favor?" Passing out pieces of notepaper, she explained that she needed everyone's names, heights, and hair colors written down. "Can't you just get all of that off our headshots?" the baritone playing the hero complained. "Those have all been carefully filed away," Sandy improvised. "And I'm afraid as head electrician I don't have access to those files. Believe me, this information will help me lot you just right, so when you step out on the boards of the stage, you'll be sure to look your very best." "Okay, whatever," the baritone said, digging a pen out of his backpack. "Should we write down our best side too?" Sandy and SpongeBob ran up outside the theater. "Did you get the note?" she asked eagerly. "Got it," he said, holding up the unsigned sheet of paper, reading, "Cancel the show or else." "Did you get everyone's signature?" She nodded proudly, holding up a stack of notepaper. "Sure did." "So now what?" SpongeBob asked. "We compare everyone's handwriting to the threatening note?" Sandy shook her head. We don't, but an expert does. Luckily, I happen to be amigos with a handwriting expert, or as she likes to call herself, a graphologist. That's fancy talk for rotten experts. That's great, Sandy, SpongeBob said. Then he looked confused. But I don't see why someone in the cast would want the show to fail. Isn't it more likely to be someone who's not part of the hottest show in town? I sure wish we had a sample of Bubble Bass's writing. And SpongeBob smiled. He had an idea. Find anything? Sandy whispered, looking around nervously. Just garbage, SpongeBob answered from inside the trash can behind Mama Bass and Bubble Bass's house. Nothing with handwriting on it. Sandy heard footsteps. Someone's coming, she hissed. Ducking behind a boulder, SpongeBob could only burrow deeper into the trash, hoping he wouldn't be noticed. Bubble Bass trudged up with a full kitchen wastebasket, muttering to himself. Imagine a future famous playwright ordered by his inconsiderate mother to take out the trash. The sheer indignity of it all. How am I supposed to get anything done when I'm constantly being interrupted, forced to perform my own chores? He dumped the contents of the waste bucket into the trash can and slammed the lid on. Clang! Then he returned to his room, using the back door with stairs leading directly into the basement. Concerned for her investigative partner, Sandy hurried back to the trash can and lifted the lid. You alright in there, SpongeBob? Sure, he answered, popping up with a banana peel on his head. Just a little stinky. The garbage Bubble Bass had dumped on him only included food scraps, nothing with Bubble Bass's handwriting on it. SpongeBob climbed out of the trash can, wiping off crumbs and peelings. What now? Sandy said. Do we give up on getting the sample of Bubble Bass's handwriting? Give up? SpongeBob asked. No way! He thought a moment. Bubble Bass thinks he's a brilliant playwright, so he's sure to have something with his handwriting on it in his room. He snapped his fingers. I've got it! I'll distract Bubble Bass while you sneak into his room and borrow a piece of paper with a sample of his handwriting. I don't know, SpongeBob, Sandy said. That sounds pretty dangerous. But SpongeBob was already knocking on the back door. Bam! 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 They heard Bubble Bass coming back up the stairs from his room in the basement. Hold thine steed! He grumbled from inside. I'll approach with all the speed I can muster. Oh, Bubble Bass. SpongeBob quickly improvised a disguise, slapping kitchen scraps on his face to stand in for eyebrows, a mustache, and a beard. Luckily, it was dark out. Sandy slipped around the house, just out of sight. The door answered. Yes? Bubble Bass asked. What is it? I have important business I attend to. Making his voice as low as he commanded, SpongeBob said, Hello, good sir. I wonder if you might be interested in acquiring a particularly rare and valuable action figure. Bubble Bass sniffed. I already have an extensive collection, and I doubt you'll have anything I'm interested in. Which action figure are we discussing? A vintage first edition Wonder Whale, SpongeBob began. I already have one, Bubble Bass interrupted, starting to close the door. With black boots, SpongeBob concluded. Bubble Bass's eyes went wide from behind the thick lenses of his glasses. But they only made one with black boots. It was a mistake. Wonder Whale's boots are always white. I must see it immediately. Show it to me. Certainly, SpongeBob said calmly. Unfortunately, as I was throwing away a beverage cup, I accidentally dropped the black-booted Wonder Whale action figure in your trash. What? Bubble Bass shouted, absolutely appalled at the thought of such a rare collectible item being dropped into a garbage can. And you just left it in there? I didn't feel like rummaging through such a disgusting pile of refuse, SpongeBob answered. Please feel free to dig it out. Bubble Bass rushed over to the trash can, leaving the door to his basement open. SpongeBob gestured frantically to Sandy, who dashed through the door and silently hurried down the stairs.
Flinging trash everywhere, Bubble Bass dug through the garbage, searching for the action figure. Where is it? I don't see it in here.
Oh, just keep digging,
SpongeBob said, keeping an eye on the door, hoping Sandy would find a sample of Bubble Bass's writing quickly.
It's there, probably sank all the way down to the bottom.
While Bubble Bass was reaching so deep into the trash can that his entire upper body was inside it, Sandy emerged from the basement with a piece of paper in her hand. Smiling, she nodded to SpongeBob, then ran off. SpongeBob took off after her. Aha! Bubble Bass cried triumphantly. I think I've got it! At last! Black-booted Wonder Whale! You are mine! He stood up covered in garbage, one hand raised in the air. In his hand was a gnawed cob of sea corn. Egad! This is no Wonder Whale! He threw the cob down in frustration, and he noticed the mysterious stranger was gone. Hey! Where'd he go? Bubble Bass resumed his search of the trash, just in case. SpongeBob soon caught up with Sandy.
You got a sample of Bubble Bass's handwriting?
Yup, Sandy said. I sure did. Come on, let's go show it to my graphologist friend. She kept on running. SpongeBob ran after her.
Where is this friend of yours anyway, Sandy?
You'll see, Sandy called back over her shoulder. When SpongeBob caught up with Sandy, she was standing in front of a building he was all too familiar with, the Bikini Bottom Police Department.
Whoa!
SpongeBob said, skidding to a stop when he saw where they were.
Sandy, is your friend the graphologist in jail?
Sandy grinned. No, of course not. She's a policewoman, Officer Nancy O'Malley. She started to walk up the stairs into the building, but SpongeBob grabbed her arm, stopping her.
But Sandy,
he objected.
Scores and Martin Dorado is afraid word will get out that the show's in trouble and King Neptune won't come to the opening night, remember?
Of course I remember, Sandy said. We're not going to say anything about the show. We're just going to ask Nancy to compare the handwriting samples to the anonymous notes and see if any of them match. Simple. SpongeBob looked worried. Sandy's plan sounded like a good one. After all, if they could identify the author of the note, they'd probably have the culprit and the case would be solved. But they had to be absolutely sure nobody found out that the musical was having problems.
I don't know,
he said, trying to anticipate all the possibilities.
What if Nancy recognizes one of the names of the cast members and puts two and two together? Also, the anonymous has canceled the show. She's going to know this has something to do with some show, and this show is the talk of the town. She's bound to guess what show the note's threatening. Besides, it's risky walking right into the police station. Cops don't like private detectives. They think we get in the way of their investigations. Maybe we should try some other angle.
Sadie put a reassuring hand on SpongeBob's shoulder. Don't worry, partner. Nancy's my friend. We can trust her. Stay tuned for Chapter 14 coming up soon.